So 2022 has been a year of a lot of changes, I think, for a lot of people in a lot of different ways. And one of the big ones that was talked a lot about in 2021, and we're really seeing implemented in 2022, is platform changes on social media, right? A lot of these platforms talked about in these announcements of we're going to shift our focus, and we're really seeing it right now. So what specifically are these platform changes? That's what we're going to be getting into on today's episode of the BB&J podcast. I'm your host, as almost always, John Lind, and yeah, let's get right into it. So I wanted to start off with Instagram, which I think a lot of us definitely go on quite a bit. I know we mentioned last year that the head of Instagram said that going into 2022, the platform was going to shift its focus away from the traditional image content and more towards short form video. And we definitely started seeing that in 2021. It's full-fledged now. You might notice, one of the most obvious things is the way that it handles, categorizes, and works with video, right? Traditionally, you had IGTV, which was long form video, and that had to be vertical, or landscape, and over a minute, right? It was its own tab doing this whole thing, right? Now that's been rebranded as IG video, and the requirements are largely the same. However, it focuses a lot more on populating your main feed rather than the IG video feed. So one of the big things that we've had to adapt to a lot with Instagram specifically is when making those vertical thumbnails, making sure that they're square friendly, because regardless of where you're at on Instagram, right? Regardless of what kind of content you're producing, you gotta make it square friendly. Not saying it has to be square, because they can be weird about their dimensions, but if it is just shown as a square video, square photo, whatever it is, it has to look okay. It has to look good. The focus is now shifting towards short form. And you may be saying, John, I thought there was already short form videos with those square posts like we always talk about. But here's the thing. What they're really pushing right now is IG Reels. IG Reels is Instagram's own little short form video platform. The videos have to be under a minute. The videos have to be 60 seconds or less. And they're displayed like most platforms are trying to do their short form video right now. Like almost all platforms, they want you to make it natively. They want you to make it through their platform. So even though you'll see a lot of video that is just taken from TikTok, sometimes what creators will do is they'll take that unedited video and they'll put it in, they'll download that. But if you are producing content on TikTok, or maybe you're making YouTube shorts, absolutely start posting those as reels. It's a little bit more challenging because you can't do it off of your desktop, I'm sorry. But the name of the game in 2022 for Instagram is Reels. They have shifted their focus heavily towards promoting Reels. If you post a Reel, especially your first Reel, Instagram will do whatever it can to get it to as many people to encourage you to keep posting on Instagram. So, especially if you're already making short form content, start making it vertical and start putting it on Reels. That's what I'll say. The second platform I wanted to talk about was TikTok. A lot of us saw, hey, we're updating our content policy, and just clicked OK, didn't read it, which is a normal thing, right? A lot of us don't actually get around to reading these things. But I wanted to touch on some of the important things that were discussed in content moderation specifically for TikTok. So what we saw in terms of that updated content is a heavy focus on family-friendly content. You could call it kid-friendly content, really. but the content needs to be appropriate for all audiences, not in terms of, is this subject matter directly relevant to me, but, is this appropriate? Can a kid watch this? They recognize that there's a lot of youth on the platform, and they want to keep the FYP clean, so to speak. The other thing is they're really hammering down on what they call unoriginal content. What is this? Content uploaded from another platform, content with another platform's logo on it. Anything. If it says, oh, they're pulling this from Instagram, oh, they're pulling this from YouTube, they're gonna penalize that and are a lot less likely to put that on the For You page. So, I've talked a lot about this before. The focus of TikTok really is natively produced content. It's a great place to start, especially if you're making a short form video, but that is never been truer. I sometimes talk about there's this little workaround where you can use green screen video and upload a video, but do not include the watermark from another platform on your TikTok videos. It's not gonna work. It's useless. The third platform that I wanted to talk about, because it has definitely been changing quite a bit, is YouTube. And when I'm talking about YouTube specifically, I'm talking about YouTube Shorts. So this is something that, Instagram, kind of like TikTok, it's been experimenting with in 2021 and into 2022. We're really seeing large-scale implementation. And if you'll look at a lot of channels, especially the ones that produce a lot of content, they're putting shorts out, right? And for a lot of these platforms, they might just, if they're putting out the main video, then they're making clips, and they're putting those clips as shorts on YouTube. It's just a little hashtag short, and that's a short, right? Because YouTube wants people to browse their platform like they do Instagram Reels, like they do TikTok. And the way that they did that was they created YouTube Shorts, so you can keep swiping. You could say the name of the game in 2022 is keep swiping. The thing about YouTube Shorts is, especially because they're trying to just pull a feed in, or a big old feed, it's kind of like Google. It's hungry. It just wants to be fed. You don't have to make super original content. So if you're making Instagram Reels, if you're making short vertical videos or videos that can be made vertical, you can be putting that on YouTube Shorts. Like I said, it's a great way to get your content on other platforms. And these platforms are new, they're young, they're trying to get market share, right? In terms of people's consumption of short form social media. So they're gonna do what they can to make it, to bring people onto their platform, bring creators onto their platform, and encourage them and reward them for doing this stuff. So TikTok, obviously it's an excellent place. It's where a lot of people are, but these new burgeoning forms of short form social media that are swipe focused are trying to get market share, and they will help creators as much as they possibly can. Something to kind of keep an eye out for in 2022. I think this is kind of a weird time, so I want to keep the focus on business, marketing, that normal stuff. But I am going to try to get back into the news stories, the tech stuff, because I do find that interesting. I do think it's important to talk about. But other than that, I'd like to thank you so much for listening and/or watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, punch the notification bell, all that good stuff. Let me know if there's any other specific topics you'd like me to talk about. But other than that, I'll see you next week.